You got to one up me. He comes back from Italy, guys. He buys these rare scarves. He's got to put them up over there. That's why he's the president of New York. But thank God he's here, Stevie P. Family duties. But Franco, whenever you're ready, you give me the signal, and away we go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Siamo pronti. Let's go.
Siamo pronti.
Welcome to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Milan fans all over the world, with your hosts, Vinny T and Stevie P.
Benvenuti nella casa
Giro in area, si gira, sinistro, rete, gol capolavoro di Olivier Giroud.
Mignon with another magical save.
Mamma mia, Teo Hernandez! Coast to coast del numero 19.
Leao carica il mancino. Eccolo qua, Rafa Leao.
Il Milan è campione d'Italia.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another edition of the Milan Wiki Podcast. Here where we talk everything Milan. One win in a row, Milan and Inter dropping points. But we got to mention it. Vinny T, Franco Z. We're gonna keep it at that because we need to keep it anonymous, right? From the beautiful city of New York. I have a question for you, Franco. We've called each other the five families, right? So we have New York, Philadelphia, Montreal, Toronto, Boston. Who's the real boss of these five families? Is it you? Is it Fanta?
Is Presidente going to accept any other answer besides Presidente?
That was a trick question. It was a trick question. So you got it there. Guys, coming in for Steve Franco from New York, a fellow, yes, member of the five families of the Milan clubs, a fellow Patreon member as well. And look at him. He goes to Italy, goes to watch Milan, doesn't bring us back 3 points, but brings back all these beautiful scarves. Franco, before we get into housekeeping stuff and what's coming on, take a couple of minutes and talk to us about this trip that you took, how much money you spent at the Milan store, and how many beers did you share with Colin?
Oh my God, me and Colin had quite a bit to drink, so it was very nice to meet Colin. Very nice to hang out with members of Milan Club Dublin, Milan Club Benevento, Milan Club Cugiano, which treated us like royalty. They actually brought us to their clubhouse. We actually went to Cugiano, which is a town half-hour outside of Milano, and they welcomed us to their clubhouse, and we got to meet the mayor.
Nice.
It was like an afternoon in Cugiano the day before the game. For those that don't know, we went our entire committee, with the exception of two guys, and it's a big group of guys. Unfortunately, we saw Milan Sassuolo. So it was possibly one of the worst home Serie A losses in Milan history. Fortunately, the rest of the weekend was phenomenal. So aside from those 94 minutes, we had a very nice weekend. We went to Casa Milan.
Give me a positive, Franco. One positive from the game. And a lot of people were saying the curva and the fans kept on chanting. Was that the one positive you could take away from that game?
Yeah, that's actually a very easy answer. And yes, it was the fans. I feel like if you're watching at home, it's much easier to get angry at the team at any point in time. I feel like when you're in the stadium, there is an obligation to just stay by the team. You can get upset and frustrated, but when you're in that stadium, you feel a difference. And some people don't like to hear that. Some people don't like to hear that, oh, it's different when you're there, when you're in Italy, but it is, and I have to admit it. And the curva really reminds the rest of the stadium what you're there to do. And what you're there to do is to support the team, whether it's, 5-0 Milan or 5-2 Sassuolo.
You should tell some of the people on the Twitter machine that they should follow Milan no matter what, because I had a bit of, I lost my mind a little bit on the last podcast because It just freaks me out how people could turn their backs, but it's all good. We're not here to talk about
Right.
those trolls. We're here to talk about Milan Torino, Tottenham tomorrow. But before we get into, and yes, we have to get into Presidente gave me a checklist. We got to go through all the stuff. But you know what, Franco, why don't you take over this little one? Tell people, what do they need? What do these people need to do? Whoever's watching.
I mean, if they haven't done it already, which I don't know how they haven't, you got to press like. You got to subscribe to the channel, Milan Weekly Pod. Put it on your notifications when the show starts. It sends you a notification even half hour before, and that's all you got to do. Support the channel. It's great content. It's great content. English speaking content that we are so starved for in the Milan world. So press like and subscribe.
Thank you, sir. And yes, Presidente did have for us. Let me just get rid of this banner here so everybody can see. So FIFA Tournament 2023, right? The cross-play tournament platforms. The deadline is February 24th. I know throughout the last couple of editions, I know you had representative from your clubs, you had representative from all over the world. Great prizes. It's with Fondazione Milan. So reach out to our Twitter page. Presidente is going to be posting some stuff, how to join. So this is always something fun, right? To bring, really bring the world of gamers together. And for the first time, can actually, I don't know the way it works. I think it's only on FIFA 23 or PS5 with Xbox. I'm not sure. But for the first time, something at least fun to do, right, Franco?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played video games in a number of years, but from everybody that has participated in this tournament in the last couple of years, everybody seems to have enjoyed it. People have made friends; they keep in touch. You know, we're proud to take part of it, and especially when Fondazione Milan is involved, it's always something to be very proud of. So this year we have our friend Mikey Darwish. He is representing Milan Club New York. He's a steady member of our club and always at the Football Factory, and he is taking the reins this year. So hopefully we get past the first round.
So pay attention to the social media pages of everybody. We'll have more details. Tournament if the deadline on the 24th. And now, last but not least, tomorrow, Champions League, 3 p.m. We will be at Chicharo's. I took the day off. I told my boss these are important events. I need to take the day off. I gotta go work on Saturday. But hey, it is what it is. So people of Montreal, club members or not, we will be there. Jan is bringing a Tottenham fan. Let's see how he's going to take it. Franco, what's going on in New York for tomorrow's game?
The usual, Midtown Manhattan, 6 West 33rd Street, the Football Factory at Legends. It's right across the street from the Empire State Building. Take a late lunch, have a late afternoon meeting, whatever it takes to get to the bar. I'm a teacher, so unfortunately, midweek games are tough for me. But fortunately, I will make it home just in time for the start of this game. So
awesome. So guys, we'll check it out, and hopefully on Coast to Coast on Wednesday, we'll have something to celebrate and not too much yelling. On that note, when you were in Boston, did the kids behave, Franco? Did you have to keep an eye out on Mark? Did you have to keep an eye on Fabio? Were they well behaved, the gentlemen?
I don't know. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go.
It's true. Me, I'm getting confused. Never mind.
No, it's okay. I just, I had just gotten back from Italy. Unfortunately, you can't do them all. I do like my marriage, and so I had to, draw the line somewhere.
Whenever you can't go, we just send David Fontaine, the royal family of Philly. They're gonna be there. And, even though they lost the Super Bowl, he doesn't really watch. He was just going to be there for the celebration. So who won? The Chiefs. The Chiefs. That's as much as I watch football. Milan Torino, Friday game. Franco, we've been saying do or die for the last couple of weeks. I wanted to ask you something. At first glance, when you saw because it was not the formation, I think it was a 3-5-2 formation at the beginning. No, it was like this 3-4-2-1, 3-4-3. So anyways, just a little tweak, right? Did you have good hopes for this one? Because even I, looking at the first 10 minutes of the game, I'm not saying that we were like, wow, but you could have seen the difference in play between this game against Torino than the game against Inter. What are your takes?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they came out a little less defensive. I think the opponent lends itself to that. Leading into the game, I was hopeful. It had to end somewhere. There was so much things being thrown at the team. You had to figure that it had to end somewhere. It had to end this week. Fortunately, it did. I mean, the first half, I don't think was the greatest half. I think the good part about it is that they overcame the frustration from the first half and pulled it together in the second half.
And do you think that, you're saying that this needed to be the game? Were you, if you were been a part of the the pregame therapy, would you have said, I don't give a shit how I get these 3 points? Would it be ugly? Do I want a dominance? Or where did you, on what side of the fence did you sit on?
I feel like I'm a lot of times I'm always on that stance, right? Because in Serie A, you have to get points no matter what. Serie A is that type of league. You need to get 3 points no matter how you get them. I mean, look at the way Juventus won 9 championships in a row. Look at the way even we won last year, the way Inter has won in the past. I think Napoli is like the outlier this year. They just roll over people. In Serie A, traditionally speaking, to get points, you get them any way that you can get them. And I think this game proves that.
Look at our first ever patron, Sabrina, live from Twitch. You see, we're all multi-platform, so thank you, Sabrina, for watching. I felt, for me, looking back at the starting lineup, and people like to people like to judge, or how about this guy and that guy, and in the end, I think Leao on the bench for 2 games, I don't get it. I'm going to keep on repeating myself. I'm not a coach. I don't know what's going on. This was the right decision to make. I felt that at some times Leao was trying to do too much on his own. I don't know if it's the pressure, and Salamakers did not have a bad game for once. That's what I found on that one. How about you? Who did you find played like a good game or surprised you?
Yeah, Salamakers was one in my notes where I just wrote not bad, honestly. and Krunic the same thing. Kalulu very good finally. Like I think
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while where we saw a game like that from him. Obviously, you could say whatever you want about Giroud. He works so hard. Giroud works so hard. Even in the games that we were losing, you could tell that he was just working hard to get that one goal that maybe can galvanize the team and bring them back into it. It's just nice to see him get service and get rewarded for it. So he works so hard. And for him to get the winner, it's like just so poetic,
And let's not kid ourselves. At the beginning, Tatarusano made a couple of good saves there, because it could have been easily 1-0 Torino, and that would have been maybe downward spiral where here we go again. So I know we like to make fun of him. I know that you and I like to remind everybody that we won a Scudetto because of him, but it's the result that we needed, right? Especially when we got Monza coming up. We needed Las Volta maybe a couple of games ago. 2023 has not been good for us. I saw, like, would it be Inter today dropping points? We could laugh, but they're still on second place. Napoli's gonna just get away with it. It looks like this year, but it's time, because now we got Tottenham, right? We got Tottenham coming, and people want to talk about, Tottenham is missing, whatever, 3/4 of their team. Or guys, it's still Tottenham. It's still Tottenham that beat Manchester City a couple of weeks ago. It's still Antonio Conte.
And it's a Tuesday night. It's a Tuesday night with the entire world watching. It's very different than a Saturday afternoon in Leicester and a Friday night against Torino. The stakes are much, much higher. It's a different world.
Yeah.
Back to Tatarusano for a second. He did his job.
And we did forget. Sorry, Anthony has a good point. We did forget Chow, that had a very good game as well for a starting lineup.
No, 100%. I mean, I didn't even get to him. For me, he was the man of the match. I know, Giroud had the goal, the game-winning goal, and almost had a second one before that. But for me, Malik Chow was the
man of the match.
Man of the match, absolutely dominant.
How about flop of the match? Is there any other answer than Diaz?
Maybe Simon Kjaer.
Okay, you found. Why did you find them not having the?
I didn't think he was good, especially in the first half. He had that. He gave up a dangerous chance in the first half that Tatarusanu saves. He got blown by a couple times. I didn't think he was very good. But yeah, Brahim Diaz probably. If I really had to choose between the two, probably Brahim Diaz. He's just I don't understand.
And yeah, no, neither I. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised, Franco. Somehow, some way, we're gonna make out some deal to keep him. I don't know. I think we shall see. What was it now? 22 million to buy back. We don't have that. If you bought a guy like CDK for 35 and he hasn't been up to par, we're not gonna pay 22 for Diaz, especially when we don't have any money. So I wouldn't even know where we're gonna get this kind of money. But do you see that happening?
The way people talk, unfortunately, but it really does not make much sense. At least with CDK, you have the excuse of patience and let's see what he does, and we invested in this kid. You're not obligated to invest in Brahim Diaz, and I really don't think they have any reason to at this point in time. Even in a Scudetto year, you got to think about it. We won the Scudetto last year, and he was not a big part of it. You can't even say, about last year, he was so good for us.
Yeah, you're right. Well, he scored, he went on fire those first 8 games. Remember when he scored? And then COVID and everybody, because of COVID. And then, I don't know, he hasn't given us enough of consistency. I think he's had those couple of games. So hopefully we do not deal with that. And, Anthony was saying against Tottenham, even with Chow having a great performance, does he deserve a starting? It's hard because who do you have available? What would you predict Pioli's going to go? Do you think he's going to go with this 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, I think he's going to stick to that whatever formation. But like people say, sometimes formation is just for paper and for starting lineup purposes. It changes with possession. But
Tomori's coming back, I think.
Yes.
I believe so. I don't know. You would. I'm not sure, but you're playing Tottenham. Would he go back to 4-man defense?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like what based on what people were saying about today's training session and just the things that he's been trying. As much as Malik Chow had a great game, it was Friday night against Torino, and
it's a good point.
As bad of a game as Simon Kjaer had and has been having, he's a guy who has played in a Euro and has played in Champions League and understands what it means to play on a Tuesday night against Tottenham. So as much as people want to see Malik Chow play and start, and as much as you can justify that he might deserve to start, I think Pioli's going to go with the experience.
Definitely. It was even funny that we were sending out messages after the game, and Mario, that was one of the admins, is like, I'm not sure if it was the beer, but even Messias had a good game. And Steve right away replied, it was the beer. Just leave it at that. We'll see tomorrow, 3:00, Champions League. Let me ask you something, Franco. What score would Milan have to win, right? Or just give me a score that you would go into Tottenham next month with, okay, there might be a chance here. What's that? I know there's nothing comfortable in soccer, football, but what does your gut say, man?
Right, that's the thing. There's no away goal anymore and all that kind of stuff. But I think number one, you have to keep a clean sheet tomorrow, and you have to win. One of my friends was texting me right before we came on, and we were talking about it. So I'll give him credit for this one. But he said it. He's like, you have to win tomorrow.
There's no other. There's no other
so
ifs or buts. Yeah.
I mean, I'll even take 1-0 tomorrow. But you have to keep a clean sheet, even without
put the pressure on them. Yeah,
and you have to win, and that's it. Because his point was, again, I'm not going to take credit for it. His point was the inexperience. You don't want an inexperienced team going to Tottenham needing a win.
That's very well put. Yeah. And Ibra is on this UCL. No, what's the story? He's not on the Champions League roster, but could he be next month? I'm not sure. No, they have to do after the other round, right?
Right. I think the only one that they could add at any time is Magnan.
There we go. Yeah, because
Ibra is not on the list, but Magnan could be added 24 hours before a game. So if they decide that he's ready to go on March 6th or 8th or whatever the date is that they play again, then he can be added. like the night before, basically.
All right. What do you feel like? We only have like 3-4 questions. Do you feel like going through Serie A a little bit, then we'll go through the Patreon questions, and then we'll do some busted tweets?
Yeah, we'll do a little bit of that.
Unless out of your 16 pages of notes, do you have anything you want to talk about, Frank? I'll give you 2 days, 3 days in advance. How many pages you got there? Are they typed out nicely? Paragraphs, bullet points?
Yeah.
Just
So no, actually I didn't write that much because I didn't even watch that much Serie A this weekend either. But
we'll just go. We're not gonna go through the Salernitanas or anything. We're just gonna take a quick look and maybe some headlines from these fuorigioco millimetriche. But let's see what we have. Hold on a second. Even though I don't have the soundboard, I gotta make a play. So Empoli tie Spezia. I think this one was like 2-2 after the first half, and it just remained at that. And then you have Roma Lecce that drop points here by Roma. I caught a little bit of this one. I don't know if I can't really give my opinion because it's just like, yeah, it's Roma. It's not like I'm surprised by. Let's say if this would have happened to Napoli or Inter for that matter. Lazio, Roma, and Lazio, we're going to get into it. But do you see anything from here? Is it the Zaniolo leaving effect? I don't think so, but...
No, I think it's just Roma being Roma and them thinking that they're better than they are. And this is just a classic Roma game, just like the classic Lazio result underneath it. But they had their chances. If you want to be fair, Roma probably could have won this game 3-1. They had their chances. They just couldn't finish. Lecce is a tough place to play.
Well, you said the Roma being Roma, but going down, isn't this Lazio being Lazio? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? And I watched most of this, and it was just like, how did this team demolish Milan 4-0?
Yeah.
And then looking at, I'm not taking anything away from Atalanta, the great, great little squad there, but how could you even explain this? Is it Sarri? Is it just the Lazio that we know and love for all these years?
I think it was Milan's form at the time. If you want to compare it to losing 4-0, Atalanta presses. They press right from the start. They were right on their throats, and I think that was the approach that we didn't have against them that game. Also, Immobile misses a sitter in the first half. I
don't know what's going on with him.
He took the ball off Milinkovic-Savic's foot, and all he had to do was tuck it in. Instead, he skied it over the net. And so, the thing is and Milinkovic-Savic is he reminds me of Dzeko at Roma. It's just really, really elite player wasting his time on a not worthy team.
Yeah, that's who knows? Maybe he's gonna. I'm not sure, but when supposedly
if he's smart, he would leave because he's dominant even in a 0-2 loss at home. He's still dominant. He's still all over the field. It's just so hard to defend him. He's in, and
remember when we had offered 100? Did we offer that time when 100 for Milinkovic-Savic? And the discussion always comes back to these points. It's like somebody offered you 100 for him, or was it Bellotti that they were close to 80 and they said, no, you're never going to get those 70, numbers. Never going to get those numbers again. But SMS, I'm not sure he's going to stay at Lazio next year. We shall see. But Lazio being Lazio and Roma being Roma, that's our feedback from the games. Udinese Sassuolo doing a 2-2. Bologna Monza. Hey, Monza bringing up those 3 points, man. I just want to see very quickly. Look at Monza. Look at Monza, 29 points on par with the Juve and on par with Bologna. But good for them, right? They don't need a win next week, right? Because they're on a winning streak, so they could give us a couple of points there. But I wanted to talk about Juve Fiorentina.
Ugh.
Now, I was expecting let's get a great match going, and it's always Juve Fiorentina. And I need to say something where I saw somebody tweet out or write out, it's like, these fucking refs, again, it's continuing. They're giving everything to Juve. And I'm looking and I'm like, this is the automatic offside ruling. How is this the referee's decision?
Right.
Forget that it's completely ridiculous that one part of the body was this, away from that line there. Fiorentina got a goal taken back as well. I don't know. I was expecting a lot more from this game, but in the end, ugly as they may be, Juve come out with the 3 points. No big surprises here.
Yeah, I think shame on us for expecting more out of this game because, Juve hasn't been great. Fiorentina is literally the worst team to watch in Serie A.
What has happened to them? Where are they at?
Listen, they're not like a Scudetto contender. Look at that.
24 points, guys.
Like, they're not a Scudetto contender. I get it. But when you look at the roster and you look at what should be happening with that roster, they've just been so, and you can't even say like, oh, they've lost some unfortunate games and they've been in every game and they lost 2-1 here and they got an unlucky bounce there. They have zero offense. They have like 5 guys attacking but never attacking. They're one of the most frustrating teams to watch. Like, Bologna was horrendous against Monza, and they still make Fiorentina like they still look good compared to Fiorentina.
Yeah.
That's how bad Fiorentina is, and Fiorentina almost stole this game. They almost stole a point from this game because Castrovilli had a sick goal.
It was, yeah.
It was a beautiful goal that unfortunately gets taken away. But
what did they taken away for? A foul? Was it a foul?
I still don't understand if it was an offsides or a foul. Or a handball. Like, I still don't understand because it was just so confusing at the end, and that was it. The ref went to VAR. He looked at it for a while. So I think because he went to VAR, it couldn't have been offsides because offsides they call.
Yes, exactly. So I think it has to be like, I think it was I have to remember, maybe it was on a foul, but anyways, in the end, it's a 1-0 win. Napoli Cremonese, you gotta love the people at 0-0 at halftime. Was just like,
yeah, okay,
they got a chance.
Okay.
No, guys, no. The Napoli Cremonese does not have a chance. No big surprises here.
But even if they did, like, what are people hoping for?
That they go through a 4-game.
Cremonese miraculously wins this game 1-0.
Let me. But that's what makes me laugh. Okay, so they would have stayed at 56, still 12 points ahead of Inter. And I always laugh. When people make fun of me about Milan and all this. And I'm like, but who came out at the beginning of the season says that we're going for a second Scudetto? I go, I never said that. Nobody. I go, the deal was always top 4. And that's why people like, oh, Napoli would have lost points. To what? Inter didn't. Right. Inter didn't do nothing today, right? And speaking of Verona, even with the win trying to stay above the relegation, this one surprised me a little bit. It's I don't know. Sampdoria I watched, and Inter looked pretty good, dominant, and Sampdoria just played well defensively. It sounded like they had, Sampdoria almost scoring, or, they just took the game to Inter. And I don't know. I just felt that I was talking about with the guys at the bar. And, when you have these kind of skids, and I'm not saying Inter has been through a skid, but when you have these kind of skids, you have teams, these little teams or these unperforming teams that they come up to Milan at the San Siro, or they receive me. Yeah, we could beat them. They're on we could beat them, And then you have Sampdoria, and let's take a look at Samp. Where's Samp right now? They're at where's Sampdoria?
They got a foot in Serie B.
They got a foot in Serie B. Thank you. I completely forgot about that. So I don't know. Were you able to catch a little bit of glimpses on these ones? But honestly, like for Interistas, that's why for me, just like Milanistas, if Milan won a game and Inter still hasn't played, don't say a word.
Yeah.
Same vice versa. If for whatever reason we would have all these games would have lost, just wait until the final.
You took the words out of my mouth. Like, it is never easy, and I forget which coach it was. I think it was Sarri when he was at Juve that he used to always say, like, it's so hard playing after everybody else. Like, when everybody else has played and you got to play that Monday night game and you desperately need that win, this is classic Serie A, where even Sampdoria, who is literally halfway into Serie B, maybe even more than halfway into Serie B at this point, can hold off Inter from even scoring.
I think it's done. No, Frank, it's got to be done. You're Cremonese and Sampdoria look to Verona now, like, a couple of points away from Spezia, but I would be curious to know when was the last time Sampdoria. I remember we were talking with Steve maybe a couple of years ago. It would be the Genoas or the Sampdorias that they need to go down to Serie B. It happened to Genoa. Right. Sampdoria maybe needs this trip down to Serie B, but it's got to be 80s maybe.
I think it happened once in the 90s, if I'm
in
not
the
mistaken.
90s.
Yeah.
So, and looking at this kind of fight here, but I think the real fight will be for the top 6 spots, top 2 to 6, right? If you look at that, you go 44 to 39. Don't kid yourselves, even though it's only 9 points, it is Lazio, guys. You never know what Lazio is capable of doing, but starting this week with Monza, we shall see what goes on and what else. What did Presidente give us here? So the next couple of days. So Monza, Milan, and then we do have Atalanta on. This is on the 26th of February. So this is a Sunday, the day after my birthday. Game. Okay, I got time to recuperate. Stevie P's on the 23rd, I think. Yes, 22nd. Stevie P. Hopefully they bring us some luck for our birthdays, because we definitely need it. But tomorrow, first and foremost, we got to get those 3 points, a win. Because again, taking the words from your friend, you do not want to go to London needing to win. I like that.
Yeah, hopefully we're trending upwards, and hopefully they're trending downwards. I watched bits and pieces of their game versus Leicester. They really fell apart. Their backup goalie is just as bad as ours.
Okay, so we're playing on leveling ground. Okay, I like it.
At least from what I saw in this one game. Obviously I don't, spend a lot of time watching much Premier League at all, let alone Tottenham. But their backup goal had a rough day. And after Betancourt got hurt, they had what was the date? I didn't see it.
2010, 2011. Franco and Liban.
Oh, really?
Facebook. Wow. Frank. That's really recent. All right. But if the Betancourt got hurt, we shall see. 3 points for your birthday, Vinny, and Gasparini getting pissed off. That's for Steve's birthday for Gasparini. Let's look at Patreon. So you had to reply, fuck that guy, fuck that guest. Shane, our local, he's the Irishman living in Kenya.
That's correct.
This is where we find these guys. There's a potential that Leao could go for 100 in the summer. Would you prefer Leao to stay, or would you guys prefer the 100 million if we had the chance to reinvest all of it? If we had the chance to reinvest it all into the squad, because we always, we have our numbers, and this is not the Berlusconi era of the latter years where that money will go back into the actual list pockets or balancing some sort of books. Let's just put it this way, Franco. If you would sell Leao for 100. Talking about investments, what would are you investing in recruiting? Are you investing in finding that gem? Are you going to get yourself a premier player? How do you reinvest, or do you not sell them at all?
Right. The question is, first of all, am I allowed to reinvest everything?
Yeah.
So if the answer is yes, then yes, I would sell him.
And how would you invest with youngsters? Would you go get a premier player? Because you are losing a world-class player, correct?
I would get it. I would get a high-profile player that can perform at the very least in Serie A, and take care of some issues, some glaring issues. Maybe a right wing. I don't know. I don't know if we need a right wing. Do you think we need a right wing? Yes, we do.
What do we need?
Right wing.
A right wing.
Yeah.
Bold statement.
As Stevie P says, give me a right wing.
I think he
said that about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So
the Scudetto of 10 players, because we'll have a right wing. So you would invest into a right wing
if you can guarantee the fact that you can reinvest all the money that you make off of his sale. Then yes, I would reinvest not just into a right wing, but I would take that 100 million and try to divide it into 3 players.
Fuji's and get rid of our left wing to get a right wing.
Fair enough. That is, and that's a fair point. Can I answer this question again in 3 weeks when we've played 2 legs of Champions League?
We'll get you back on. How's that? Or we'll do the 5 families round table. How's that? We'll do
that's a cool idea.
We'll do the round table cool and see what we could do, and we'll just put we'll black out our eyes just in case, and we'll just put our first names, or you could do those interviews, like they do on 2020, and it's just shadow.
Oh, just the the
just a
silhouette
shadow,
of a
but
person.
it's still our voices. We could do something like that.
Oh, I have to talk like this.
Alex says, hey, Vinny and Franco, with financial fair play and good books being such a hot topic in recent years, most people tend to discuss how making the Champions League and extending time in the Champions League is great because we make sums of money. Alternatively, looking at growing the club's fan base and league popularity, just being there is not enough, but we need to be competitive. Is it a special moment in these competitions that will grab attention of those not already tied to us and draw in new fans, customers, and demand for TV exposure? What are your thoughts on the Champions League and international competition as a vehicle to grow both Milan and Serie A, and is it attainable in our current state?
Winning or just advancing further?
I think he's talking about, like, extending the time in the Champions League is great because we make the sums of money and the exposure is there, but you don't want to be that team that makes Champions League every year and just gets knocked out every single, because I don't think that's good for Serie A.
Is it attainable in our current state? Yes. Is it viable? And
Franco, hold on a second. Hold on. In our current state, which Italian teams that you see in the Serie A could go compete against the top 15 teams in Europe? Let's be honest here.
So you're talking about in terms,
but they're saying Serie A. They're saying, okay, Milan could possibly do it, right? But if they keep on going with these Messias and Salamakers, we're going to be the laughing stock if it continues like this.
And that was my but. Yeah, that was my however. So
because people want to trash on what's his name, Fantantino Antonio Cassano, that l'Europa League, una league for the teams of Serie A because we're not good enough or we're not strong enough to be competing a bit. Yeah, we could talk about the Leicester Cities of whatever 10 years ago when they won a championship, or even us. We like to call it the miracle one, but there was nobody competed against us, and stars aligned for us. But I don't know if I think staying in the Champions League and building something that could make you go through, like, the stay in the Champions League, I think that will be good. But if Milan or Juve or Inter are the only team in that competition once the elimination is off, what does that say about Serie A?
Right. So and who is on those rosters is the other thing. So this kind of goes back to the Leao question.
Yeah.
Because, like, take me for example, I'm a school teacher, right? And I'm a school teacher in the United States. So I've lived the last 10 years with students who can't name one player on Milan. And now all of a sudden I find myself in a place where I have students who can name more than one player on Milan. And one of those players is obviously Rafael Leao. So that kind of goes back to that question. I love using teenagers as a measuring stick for marketing and for what's trendy and what's popular, because they really are like the ultimate consumers. So for them to be aware of Milan, first of all, and then to be aware of people playing on Milan and making them recognizable characters, that also ties into that. That's a big question. How much are we willing to invest in a person to make our team a high profile? Nobody's bigger than the club, obviously.
The marketing has been a lot better, that's for sure, in the last couple of years. But even, Presidente had a bit of a fit when he saw Leao with that, I don't know, these things, Franco, TikTok, Instagram Live. This guy, he has all kinds of followers, and he made a name for himself because he had burned down his house or something. Then he was at the World Cup and he was making fun. And, he was like, I don't understand, these kids, they don't even know the game, and he's telling Leao, come to the EPL, and he's like, how the fuck do they get permission to do something like this? But Jan said it, hey, it's all about the views, and these kids, this is how they consume, and it's not about guys like me and you with our generation. This is the way media is being consumed nowadays, and they need to get with the times. I'm not saying what they did was right with Leao, but you're saying your teenagers now, they recognize. Right? They recognize is like, even my little cousins, where it was only Ronaldo, all of a sudden, they know the name of Ibrahimovic because he has that lore behind him. Or when that movie came out, Asterix and Obelix, they wanted to watch it because Ibra was in it, right? So there's the movement for Milan. They're saying, I think to answer his question, that do you believe is possible? Yes, because of the way we're going. But you can go high marketing wise. Se non si vince le partite, if you don't get us those 3 points, or you keep on shitting the bag, you can market as much as you want. But you know, it's an interesting question. But I think if somehow, some way, we come up with performances against Tottenham, you can go through next year saying, well, let's hope for the best again, because they're gonna have to speech the cash there.
Right, and this, like, the two questions really do tie into each other. Think about it. I mean, if Leao goes out and we get old Leao back tomorrow night, and he all of a sudden decides to really turn it on with the whole world watching, we're having a different conversation even 24 hours from now. So
yeah, and then there's the discussion of, guys, I know world class gets thrown around. Leao is as closest to a world class player as we've seen that maybe Ibra 12 years ago, right? So then you got to think about that. When is the next time you're going to have some sort of, player of this caliber? We shall see. So that was the only couple of questions on the Patreon. And on Twitter, we had, let's see here, at Andre Milan fan saying, hi guys, which type of striker does Milan need in the nearest future? What type of striker? What say you, man? Do you need a poacher? Do you need what kind of a striker do you need? Lazetic?
You need a guy who can work back and be like a hold up guy too, not just a poacher, because you need depth behind him that can do some work. So if he could do some work for himself, and then get the ball up, especially since we're a team that loves to play on the wings anyway. You need a guy who can then distribute back out to the wings and then get back into the box. A poacher that's just going to sit up there is useless in a Pioli system, in a roster that we have right now. So you're going to need somebody who's going to be able to work and take on defenders even from further back.
Yeah, that's very well put, guys. We're a little early. If you think of any questions, shoot us out our way while I pull up. Do you do any fantacalcio, signore? So how are you doing on your own fantacalcio?
My team sucks because, and this is why I'm so critical of Fiorentina. Unfortunately, I have like 3 Fiorentina guys on my team.
God damn it, Fiorentina!
I took Jovic very early, and it's just a very frustrating person to watch. I had very good hopes about Origi, and so Origi is another guy that has failed me very much.
All of us. But Justin from Milan Club Montreal is there. Gino Vassalino. Fami has been there top for a while at Serie A Fantasy. What else do we have here? So many games. Peter, a fellow Patreon member as well. Chop. He's over. President is over, man. I'm telling you. And Husneys are there. The Krunic All Stars. I'm telling you, Krunic he's become a cult favorite. Who else do we know in here? Mark Shemo FC. Shroop here from Boston. So guys, these are pretty fun. So we'll see what happens at the end of the season. Did we come up with any questions here? I'm still on page 13, guys. I'm on page 4. Brandon, good for you. Page 13, Special K and Funk.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
It's a long season.
So I wanted to. So I asked because I think he was keeping a couple of busted tweets for Steve, possibly on Wednesday, or the guys on Wednesday. But he got us 2, Franco. Okay. So, Jan, thank you very much for coming through, right? So let's see what he has behind the door numero 1. After finding out that Pioli let the Chow rot on the bench for 7 months, I bet Adli is better than Zidane. I don't know if he's just troll. I don't know if he's just trying to be funny. I've seen this.
Serious or not, it's hilarious. I don't. Yes, I can't even get mad at this.
It's and this guy, and he's pretty. He's got. What does he have there? He's got the Kalulu face with the, what kind of hair is that? Anyways, but this one, was pretty funny. Not sure if it was too busted. If he was serious, that would be definitely busted. Is he even in Milan? I don't know. You guys do the Twitter thing more than me. I only have Twitter for wrestling, guys.
I don't know. There's usually funny tweets off of this account. So
yes, that's true. Let's see what he has there. Number 2. Did he find us a good one? Happy 22nd birthday to the best midfielder in Serie A, Starboy. Who the fuck is? Who is this? Is this Fagioli? Who is this? I don't even know. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like, is this? I'm probably a Juventino. Guys, correct us. And is this Fagioli? Is it?
It looks like it.
To the best midfielder in Serie A. So this is at Lex. You know what? I don't think we have much of voting to do, especially between these two over here. I think it is. Fagioli or one of these. No, it's not Miretti's hurt. You know, it can be Miretti unless it is him. You know what? Facebook Frank is going to let us know. Some of the guys in the comments are going to let us know. But question to you: who is the best midfielder in Serie A according to you?
Milinkovic-Savic. Can I go back to him?
I don't think you could be wrong. And right? Fuji's, is that the one? Yeah, Miretti was the one. Football coach. Who the fuck is that guy? I think, guys, I'm sorry. I do not know. And I'm not here pretending that I follow Serie A to a T and every single player that I know their tactics and all these like if I was playing a FIFA. But no, not even the guys in the comments. No. So definitely, this is the busted one of the week. I thought Rabiot was the best. Yes, it is true. Rabiot is the best midfielder in Serie A. Franco.
And somehow, like, I don't understand this guy. He's like,
how much is he making? 8 million a year.
He's like Cuadrado. He just doesn't go away. Like, and he just like finds a way to score goals. Like, I don't know.
He's like Cuadrado.
I don't understand. Like, the guy just like Juve fans want to kill him every week, and he's like the only guy like on the team that performs on a semi-consistent basis. Like, not even Chiesa was that good yesterday. Like, Rabiot played a better game than Chiesa. That's sad.
Liban Youssef, no, because I think he's doing some for the guys on Wednesday. Because for sure, no matter what the score is tomorrow, there will be a lot of busted tweets out tomorrow. So we shall see from there.
Let's hope everybody's in a good mood on Wednesday's show.
Hopefully, you're saying like you can't get rid of him, and I was trying to think. I don't know why this guy came to mind. Rodrigo Palacio. You couldn't get rid of him in Serie A. Remember, he's the one with the rat tail, right?
Yeah,
with the little rat tail. This guy, wherever Serie A team you're watching, you would somehow, some way, he's there playing. I think he played for well until his late 30s.
Yeah,
Rodrigo Palacio.
Perfect. Bench forward. You need a goal. Like, he's not going to play, and all of a sudden, he comes on in the 87th minute, and you need a goal, and there's freaking rat tail celebrating.
Good times. So on or the one you see, even the guys, Fagioli, Frank, Facebook Frank goes maybe Fagioli, some Miretti, but guys, he is the best 22-year-old midfield. No, sorry, he's turning 22. He is the best sitter. I'm gonna ask the guys tomorrow. I'm gonna ask you, Franco, give me a dark horse. I'm not gonna ask you to give me a prediction. I'm gonna ask you to give me who is gonna come out to play tomorrow, and it's gonna surprise most of us.
As a surprise,
yeah,
Tomori.
It's been a while, because he hasn't played.
Let's go with Tomori because he hasn't played in a while. You know what you're gonna expect if the guy who hasn't played for a while. Even before he went out, it was hairy. It wasn't looking good. Everybody was yelling at each other. He didn't have great games. So let's go Tomori top.
There's another good one. Fuji's in funny, huh? Goran Pandev. That was good.
Pandev.
So you're going with Tomori?
Sure. As a surprise, sure.
My surprise.
But tomorrow's game depends on Rafael.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Count Dracula himself. Tata Rusano is going to come out standing on his head tomorrow. I don't know why. I don't know how. I have a feeling he's going to throw himself. He's going to throw himself on the left. It's going to take a deflection because it was going right, and he's going to somehow save it. I just he's going to have a Tata Rusano kind of night, but in our favor. that's the way I see it. I don't know why, guys. Call me a hopeless romantic. Call me. This is why I don't bet anymore, guys. Obviously, this is one of the reasons why I don't bet. I don't bet anymore. Yeah. So football coach saying after the Chelsea performance tomorrow, he needs a big one. He definitely needs a big one because that game was not played at its best. So quick reminder, Franco, for Milan Club New York, whether they're members or not, they should come a little early because it's always jam packed.
Yeah, tomorrow will be pretty packed because we play at the same time as PSG, and we share a bar with them, so it's going to literally be split in half tomorrow. And then the upstairs, since it's not a weekend, the upstairs will be showing, like the upstairs is just a regular American sports bar, but they'll be showing Champions League as well. So people should definitely try to arrive early if they want to be downstairs. But it's always a good time at Football Factory for Champions League games. Midweek games, surprisingly, are pretty well attended, just I guess from people working in the city and just being in town and stuff. So
why not? I got maybe 5 or 6 guys confirmed. We're gonna be there, and whoever's in the Montreal area, hopefully, again, Tataru Sano and Tomori come up with performances of the week. Franco,
you're a hopeless romantic.
I am a hopeless. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why did you have to one-up me with the scarves? You had to come up with the beautiful ones, the more rare ones. Well, this one is a 1974.
You want the truth? The truth is just that
I love it. I fucking
all
love
the
it.
all the other banners are at Football Factory. I didn't have anything else to hang. I didn't want to do the jerseys, and I had.
It looks good, does it not?
It looks great. I mean, you inspired me. So, but,
I love it.
Really, really good friends. I mean, obviously meeting Colin was just awesome because you talk to somebody like every day. So Colin from Milan Club Dublin, obviously the people from Cugiona, like I said, treated us like kings. It was an incredible welcome. Guy from Benevento who was here. We actually watched USA Netherlands together during the World Cup. We were at the Football Factory together, and we came and we exchanged scarves, and then we got to see each other again at San Siro. That's awesome. Just some of the other clubs behind me, Milan Club Penisola Sorrentina. They're from Sorrento, and they run a really nice club too. It's just people that are always in close touch.
That's what it's all about, right? That's like you were talking about with Christine last week. The community that we formed. It's not about which club is bigger and who does bigger things and who's got more members. It's all about just like us doing Milanismo worldwide. Look, I interviewed Milan Club Detroit, and the guys saying, yeah, we're 7-8 now and growing, and that's what it's all about. We got to start somewhere, guys. We got to.
They gather in a cigar lounge. That's actually pretty sick. I'm actually quite jealous of that one.
Good for them. Nice little cigar line in Detroit. How far is Detroit from you, Frank?
No, it's far.
It's far.
Yeah, it would probably be like a 12-hour drive if I did it straight. So
yes, okay, yeah, because you got to go from all that. Okay.
Yeah, you just got to go straight across. But
Detroit was a fun little conversation that should be dropping on Thursday. But this is what it's all about, right? Like the stories that you're sharing, going over there, all the people that you've met, guys. That's why don't turn your backs on Milan, especially you that have been there. You people that I'm talking to, you've been there through the banter era, right? If it wasn't for, and I'm not, excuse me, I don't want to say if it wasn't for Milan Weekly Podcast. If we Milan Weekly Podcast had to go like the club, we wouldn't be here right now. Franco and I would have not, met through social media. And I know I'm the only one you haven't met in person. I know. But that's what I was telling to Christine.
That is very true.
I know. That's why we're gonna fix it. And the look at, I told Christine when Angie and Dave came up for the first time to Montreal, we embraced like we hadn't seen each other in 25 years. And that's what it's all about, guys. Like look at this Patreon group, right? Yes, we talk a lot. Yes, there's a lot of messages, but going from guys in Saudi Arabia. One guy's in Kenya, but originally from Ireland. Then the other have Gio in California, Australia. Gio at 2:30 in the morning, he's messaging, and you're like, "What are you doing? Not sleeping?" This guy. So it's just a great little thing that we're maintaining, and it just needs to grow, and it needs to grow, and it needs to grow, and it needs to grow. Alex says he's only across the river. You go to the cigar lounge, Alex. Hope Stevie P's enjoying his Valentine's Day. Or no, it's not Valentine's Day. It's something with soccer with his kid because he is Coach Stevie P. You guys don't forget that is Coach Stevie P. Franco,
Yeah.
we got to mentally prepare. How are you going to stay off?
You got a Brioski this week?
Do I have a brioche this week? Actually, you know what? I'm sure. Thank you for reminding me because I knew I forgot something. I'm going to let you say yours because you have it written down there. Well, what's your brioche?
Yeah, but mine is just the players. At the end of the game, the Teo Hernandez Calabria post. Some people criticized it. I liked it. It's just showing the world that was their fun way of saying shut the fuck up. Everybody with your stupid rumors, just shut the fuck up and stand by the team. So I liked it. That was my Brioski of the week.
I like this every single day. This new articles coming out with that politician that said that he hates fucking Juve and Juve this and Juve that, and he just doesn't deny it, and he just can. Yeah, that's what I said. What does this have to do with my political? It's like they try to find something every single time. And I'm reading, the guy's just like, yeah, he's not trying to deny. He's not trying to that just makes me completely laugh.
Only in Italy.
Only in Italy. That's my. I'm not gonna. You know what? We're gonna keep the negativity away. We're not gonna do any. Unless do you have no? Do you have?
I have a safe one.
You have an indigestion, Frank. What kind
I
of
have
indigestion?
a safe indigestion. It's a fun one. I don't like. You want to wear your third jersey? That's great. Don't wear it at home.
Say that again.
The third jersey, the green jersey.
Yeah.
Don't wear it at home.
Don't wear it at home.
If they play a home game, they should be in red and black. They should not be playing in green at home against fucking Torino.
They won.
I know. It's just great. Okay, just shoot my point down. That's fine. It's just and like you said before, it's not for us anymore. It's not for us. We're 40-year-olds or almost 40, and it doesn't pertain to us anymore. The marketing is for different people.
It's okay, Franco. You're allowed to your own indigestions of the week. It's okay. This is a circle of love. We accept all. And look at Doctor Strange, another fellow Milan Patreon member. Renee, I know a couple of you guys from Trinidad have reached out. You don't worry about making anything
You don't have
official.
to do anything official.
You don't have to do anything official because anybody here in North America to be official means absolutely nothing because they help out a lot of clubs in Europe. The guys you're looking at right now, we're not officially to the Associazione Italiana Milan Club. Look at them. They had events go to Boston. People from Serie A, right? We had Massar coming with the Champions League. We're not official. Don't worry about being official. Just concentrate on spreading the love. Come up with your own logo, and the more the merrier, Renee. Sorry, Doctor Strange. Trust me, the Franco, you guys have been. I think we tried it once or twice. Philly's not official. Toronto's not official. And in the end, it's not because we're cheap. It's because they don't do anything for us.
Since the reboot of Milan Club New York City, when we officially broke away from the New Jersey club in 2011, we were never part of AIMC, and we still haven't been. And so that's the advice that I give. If you're there's not much reason to be part of AIMC from this side of the ocean. If a club feels like they need to be, obviously that's their prerogative. I'm not going to.
And I'm not going to mention which club, but a European club a big one was told that they had 4 tickets. You know what I'm talking about? And the week before they said, no, we can't get you any tickets anymore. So imagine what you got to go through for that kind of stuff, right? So Franco just came back from a trip. I went in September. Could it have been easier? Sure. But in the end, we could have bought ourselves a Coro Rossonero card unless you already have one, and it would have been being able to buy tickets. It's not like we need to talk to anybody directly or call this guy here, call that guy, email this guy.
We were a very big group, and so we decided to get help getting tickets through said organization, and they put us in Terzo Blu. So what does that tell you?
And for people that don't know what Terzo Blu is, Franco?
Terzo Blu is the third anello. It's the third ring of San Siro all the way up behind the curva. And that was the best that we could get. So sometimes you're better off going on your own anyway.
There we go.
That's that. As far as getting a club started, I always tell people, if you build it, they will come. Just find a place to gather, find a place that'll help you show the games. Like Vinny said, make a logo and just start a a social media page. That's all you
And
need.
no offense, when we'll have these annual Milan Club gatherings, forget New York. We're going to Trinidad and Tobago. It's going to be nice and warm over there.
Yeah.
We're going to take a
Bubbles
resort.
and some whiskey. Let's go.
Renee, make it happen, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you, Franco, for stepping in for Steve. I hope you're away from social media as you drive very fast home from work to watch the game, guys. To everybody, stay off your fucking phones. I don't want to hear about notifications. I don't want to be out here. Stay off your phones. Watch the game. That's my 2 cents from over there. Anything else in closing, Mr. Franco?
No, just thanks to everybody for the support. It was really cool. Just receiving messages. Big shout out to Milan Club Boston for their event, because I wasn't able to comment on that and I wasn't able to get there. But big shout out to them and your guest last week too, Christine Cupo. We actually, like she said, we do belong to her. So whether we like it or not. So that's it. Thanks as always for having me, and hope to be back on soon. So
guys, ovunque e sempre.
Forza
Forza
Milan.
Milan. Ciao.